Hola a todos y bienvenido a mi canal. Our goal is to aprender español con cuentos cortos. Learn Spanish with short stories. This is Comprehensible Input for A1 level Spanish learners and includes a full line-by-line vocabulary breakdown and of course, some grammar always sprinkled in for good measure. Our title or título for today is Gabriel va al parque. Gabriel goes to the park. We're going to start by going over some of our nouns, adjectives, and verbs, as well as some useful phrases for today. Now, nouns or sustantivos in Espanol are either going to be masculine or feminine, and there is a pattern that we can use, although we will go over some rule breakers today. Masculine nouns either end in O or a consonant, usually, that is the vast majority of them. Some of them will end in E, and there are even some rule breakers like ciudad that look like it's going to be masculine, but then it's actually feminine. Feminine nouns almost always just end in A, but like I said, ciudad ends in a consonant, but it's actually a feminine noun. For masculine nouns, we use un to say a. For feminine, to say a, we would say una. So un or una. If we were going to say some in Spanish, we would either say unos if it is masculine, and unas if the nouns are feminine. Alright, so let's look at some examples that we're going to see today in our story. Boy is un niño, a boy. If there are more than one, or if there's some, we would say unos niños. That is a masculine noun, it ends in an O. City. This is our exception. It ends in a consonant, so usually that means masculine, but this is actually feminine, so we say una ciudad. We use una. To make it plural, unas ciudades. Our plural rule is add an S or an ES, just like in English, so we don't have to learn anything there. Park. Un parque. Ends in an E, so it's masculine. Un parque. Unos parques. Those are the only two I think you might have trouble with today just because they're a little bit different than the rest. The rest either end in an O or a consonant, so they should be pretty easy. Tree, un árbol. The accent mark is on top of the A, so we're going to say árbol. We put the emphasis there on the A. Unos árboles. Lake, un lago. Unos lagos. Duck, un pato. Unos patos. Sound, un ruido, unos ruidos. So all of these are going to be masculine, árbol, lago, pato, ruido, niño, because they end in O, or a consonant. Parque is also masculine and ends in an E. The only one that's not is una ciudad. Una ciudad is a city, it is feminine. It is our exception. Okay, adjective, adjectivos. Adjectives change to match the gender and plurality of the verb they are describing. So, small, if we have a masculine noun that's singular and it's small, we would say it is pequeño. If that same thing is feminine and there's only one, we would say it is pequeña. If there are more than one masculine noun, we say they are pequeños. If there's more than one feminine noun, we say pequeñas. So we do have to change the adjective to fit the noun. Big is a little bit easier because we don't have to change it for masculine and feminine, only for plural. If there's one thing, it's grande. If there's more than one thing, it's grandes. Does not matter what gender. Fun, we follow the pattern again. Divertido, divertida, divertidos, divertidas. Alright, so let's go over our verbs. I have two verbs for today. Caminar means to walk, and we have to conjugate this for the subject. We change the ending of the verb in Spanish, just like we do in English without even thinking about it, so that we match the subject. For example, I sit, he sits. We automatically add that S to the end of sits. We don't even think about it. They do the same thing in Spanish. So I walk, yo camino. You walk, tú caminas. He or she, él or ella, walks, camina. We walk, nosotros, if there's a male, nosotras, if there's no males, caminamos. They walk, ustedes caminan. And we're going to follow the same pattern for nadar. It is also an AR verb, so it follows the same pattern. I swim, yo nado. You swim, tú nadas. He, she swims. Él, ella nada. We swim. Nosotros, nosotras nadamos. They swim. Ustedes nadan. Here are some useful phrases that we're going to see. Frases útiles. Every day is said as todos los días. It literally means all the days. Todos los días. After, they use the word of after saying after. It's like saying I will do it after of something. Después de algo. Después de something else. There is or there are, super easy. There's only one word you need for them. You don't have to change it if it's plural or singular. Just use I. I one thing or I two things. There is or there are. To say someone likes to do something, you literally say something gives them pleasure. So you'll say le gusta if he or she likes something or likes to do something. So now we're going to jump into the story. I have Spanish on top, English on the bottom. What you can do is pause the video, check on some words you're unsure of, and hopefully you can recognize some of the new words we just went over. I will read it fairly slowly the first time through. Gabriel va al parque. Gabriel es un niño que vive en una ciudad pequeña. Todos los días él camina al parque después de la escuela. En el parque hay muchos árboles grandes y también hay un lago pequeño con patos. A Gabriel le gusta observar a los patos. Los patos nadan en el lago y hacen ruidos divertidos. Él se siente amigo de los patos y le gusta pasar tiempo con ellos. So hopefully there were a few words you were able to recognize. Let's go into a color-coded line-by-line breakdown and discuss some of the grammar and word order. Gabriel es un niño que vive en una ciudad pequeña. Gabriel is a boy who lives in a small city. Here they switch the adjective and the noun. Usually we say the adjective first and then the noun. In Spanish they put the noun first and then the adjective. So a small city, they say a city small. Una ciudad pequeña. Todos los días él camina al parque después de la escuela. Every day he walks to the park after school. Every day, like I said, is said as todos los días, all the days. Él camina al parque, he walks to the park after, después de la escuela, after school, después de la escuela. En el parque hay muchos árboles grandes y también hay un lago pequeño con patos. In the park, there are many big trees, and there's also a small lake with ducks. So in the park, en el parque, hay means there are here because they were talking about many big trees. Hay muchos, many. Árboles grandes, they did it again. They say there are many trees big. They really say many trees bigs because they have to also add that S to the adjective. Árboles grandes. Y, and, también, also, hay un lago pequeño, a lake small, con patos, so a small lake with ducks. A Gabriel le gusta observar a los patos. Gabriel likes to observe the ducks. So here, when we say that Gabriel likes, we say a Gabriel le gusta. Observar means to observe. A los patos, the ducks. Los patos nadan en el lago y hacen ruidos divertidos. The ducks swim in the lake and make funny noises. En el lago would be in the lake. Y hacen, they make, and they make. Noises, funnies is how they say it. Ruidos is noises, and funny, changed for a plural noun, is divertidos. That is why the adjective is in its plural form. So instead of saying funny noises, they say noises, funnies, if you're going to translate it directly. Ruidos divertidos. Él se siente amigo de los patos y le gusta pasar tiempo con ellos. He feels like he's friends with the ducks. Él se siente amigo de los patos and likes spending time with them. He likes, le gusta. Y pasar tiempo means to pass time with them. So he likes spending time with them is how we would say that in English. All right, so hopefully we're getting a little bit more comfortable with these words now. I'm going to read it one more time a little bit more quickly, and hopefully after the studying that we've done, you can pick up a lot more of what's going on here and you can start really recognizing those words. Gabriel va al parque. Gabriel es un niño que vive en una ciudad pequeña. Todos los días él camina al parque después de la escuela. En el parque hay muchos árboles grandes y también hay un lago pequeño con patos. A Gabriel le gusta observar a los patos. Los patos nadan en el lago y hacen ruidos divertidos. Él se siente amigo de los patos y le gusta pasar tiempo con ellos. Buen trabajo! ¿Cuántas palabras entendiste? How many words did you understand? Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and leave the number of words you recognize in that last read through down in the comments. Thank you so much for supporting this channel, and until next time, happy learning!